Who was Lal Bahadur Shastri ji? Shastri ji. मॅम आवाज येतोय ना माझा?
हो हो येतोय.
Okay. Talking about his basic information, Lal Bahadur Shastri was born on 2nd October 1904 and he was an Indian politician who served as the second Prime Minister of India. He also promoted White Revolution, that was a national campaign to increase the production and supply of milk by supporting the Amul Milk Cooperative of Anand, Gujarat, and creating the National Dairy Development Board. Underlying the need to boost India's food production, Shastri ji also promoted the Green Revolution in India in 1965. This led to an increase in food grain production, especially in Punjab, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh. Talking about his early life, Shastri ji was born on 2nd October at, at the home of his maternal grandparents in Mughalsarai in Kayastha Hindu family. Shastri's parental ancestors had been in the service of Zamindar of Ramnagar, Varanasi, and Shastri lived there for the first years of his life. Shastriji's father, Sharda Prasad Srivastava, was a school teacher who later became a clerk in the revenue office at Allahabad, while his mother, Ramdulari Devi, was the daughter of Munshi Hazari Lal, the headmaster and English teacher at a railway school in Mughal Sarai. Shastriji was the second child and eldest son of his parent. He had an elder sister, Kailashi Devi. Talking about his education, in April 1906, when Shastriji was hardly a year and a 6-month-old, his father, who had only recently been promoted to the post of deputy Tahsildar, died in the epidemic of bubonic plague. Smith Ramdulari Devi, then only 23 and pregnant with her third child, took her 2 children and moved from Ramnagar to her father's house in Mughal Sarai and settled there for food. She gave birth to a daughter, Sundari Devi, in July 1906. Thus, Shastriji and his sisters grew up in the household of his maternal grandfather, Hazari Lalji. However, Hazari Lalji himself died from a stroke in mid-1908, after which the family was looked after by his brother. In Shastriji's family, as with many Kayastha families, it was the custom in that era for the child to receive an education in the Urdu language and culture. This is because Urdu had been the language of government for centuries before being replaced by English, and old traditions persisted into the 20th century. Therefore, Shastriji began his education at the age of 4 under the tutelage of Maulavi at the East Central Railway Inter College in Mughal Sarai. He studied there until the 6th standard. In 1917, Bindeshwari Prasad, who was now the head of household, was transferred to Varanasi, and the entire family moved there, including Ramdulari Devi and her 3 children. In Varanasi, Shastriji joining the 7th standard at Harish Chandra High School. At this time, he decided to drop his caste-derived surname of Srivastava, which is a traditional surname for a subcaste of Kayastha family. Talking about his marriage, Shastriji married to Lalita Devi, who was from Mirzapur. The couple had 4 sons and 2 daughters, namely Kusum Shastri, the eldest daughter, Hari Krishna Shastri, the eldest son, Suman Shastri, whose son Siddharth Nath is a spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party and Minister of Health, Government of Uttar Pradesh. Anil Shastri, who is a member of his father's Congress party, his son Adarsh Shastri gave up his corporate career with Apple Inc. to contest the general elections of 2014 from Allahabad. Shastri ji, while his marriage was against or did not accept the dowry. He just accepted a charkha and some khadi cloth as a dowry during his marriage, setting up a great example against the dowry. Then a turning point came in Shastriji's life when he first heard Gandhiji's speech in 1921. While his family had no links to the independence movement then taking shape, among his teachers at Harish Chandra High School was an intensively patriotic and highly respected teacher named Nishkameshwar Prasad Mishra, who gave Shastri much needed financial support by allowing him to tutor his children. Inspired by Mishra's patriotism, Shastri took a deep interest in the freedom struggle and began to study its history and the works of several of its noted personalities, including those of Swami Vivekananda, Gandhiji, and Annie Besant. In January 1921, when Shastri was in 10th standard and 3 months from sitting the final examination, he attended a public meeting in Banaras hosted by Gandhiji and Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya. Inspired by the Mahatma's call for students to withdraw from government school and join non-cooperation movement, Shastri withdrew from Harish Chandra High School and next day joined the local branch of Congress party as a volunteer, actively participating in picketing and anti-government demonstrations. He was soon arrested and jailed, but was then left off as he was still a minor. Shastriji's immediate supervisor was a former Banaras Hindu University lecturer named J.B. Kripalani, who would become one of the most prominent leaders of Indian independence movement and one among Gandhiji's closest followers. Recognizing the need for the younger volunteers to continue their education, Kripalani and a friend, V.N. Sharma, had founded an informal school centered around nationalist education to educate the young activists in their nation's heritage. With the support of wealthy philanthropist and ardent Congress nationalist Shiv Prasad Gupta, the Kashi Vidyapit was inaugurated by Gandhiji in Banaras as a national institution of higher education on 10th February 1921. Among the first students of the new institution, Shastri graduated with a first-class degree in philosophy and ethics from the Vidyapit in 1925. He was given the title Shastri, that means scholar. The title was a bachelor's degree award by the institution, but it stuck as a part of his name. Shastriji enrolled himself as a life member of the Servants of People Society founded by Lala Lajpat Rai and began to work for the betterment of Harijans under Gandhiji's direction at Muzaffarpur. Later, he became the president of the society. Independence activism of Lal Bahadur Shastri. In 1928, Shastriji became an active and mature member of the Indian National Congress. At the call of Mahatma Gandhi, he was imprisoned for 2.5 years. Later, he worked as the organizing secretary of the Parliamentary Board of UP in 1937. In 1940, he was sent to prison for 1 year for offering individual satyagraha support to the independence movement. On 8 August 1942, Mahatma Gandhi issued the Quit India speech at Govlia Tank in Bombay, demanding that the British leave India. Shastriji, who had just then come out after a year from prison, traveled to Allahabad. For a week, he sent instructions to the independence activist from Jawaharlal Nehru's home, Anand Bhavan. He served as an elected representative for United Provinces in 1937 and 1946. Looking into his political career, which started in 1947 and ended at 64. In 1947, following India's independence, Shastri Ji was appointed parliamentary secretary in his home state, Uttar Pradesh. He became the Minister of Police and Transport under Govind Ballabh Pant, Chief Ministership on 15th August 1947, following Rafiq Ahmed's departure to become a minister at the center. As the transport minister, he was the first to appoint women conductors. As the minister in charge of police department, he ordered that police use water jets, whose instruction was given by him instead of lathis to disperse unruly crowds. His tenure as police minister saw successful curbing of communal riots in 1947. Then, in 1951, Shastriji was made the General Secretary of All India Congress Committee with Nehruji as the Prime Minister. He was directly responsible for the selection of candidates and the direction of publicity and electioneering activities. His cabinet consisted of the finest businessmen of India, including Ratilal Premchand Mehta. He played an important role in the landslide successes of the Congress party in the Indian general elections of 1952, 1957, and 1962. In 1952, he successfully contested UP Vidhan Sabha from Saron North come Fulpur West seat and won by getting over 69% of votes. He was believed to be retained as Home Minister of UP, but in the surprise move was called to center as minister by Nehru. Shastri Ji was made Minister of Railways and Transport in first cabinet of Republic India on May 13, 1952. He served as the Minister of Commerce and Industry in 1959 and Minister of Home Affairs in 1961. Shastri Ji laid the foundation of Bangalore Port in 1964 as a minister without a portfolio. Then in 1964, when Nehruji died in office on 27th May 1964, the Congress Party President K. Kamaraj was instrumental in making Shastriji Prime Minister on 9th June. Shastriji, though mild-mannered and soft-spoken, was a Nehruvian socialist and thus held appeal to those wishing to prevent the ascent of conservative right-winger Morarji Desai. In his first broadcast as Prime Minister on 11th June 1964, he stated, "There comes a time in the life of every nation when it stands at the crossroad of history and must choose which way to go. But for us, there need to be no difficulty or hesitation on looking to the right or left. Our ways is straight and clear. The building up of a socialist democracy at home with freedom and prosperity for all and the maintenance of world peace and friendship with all nations." His various policies includes the domestic policies, the economic policies, the Jai Jawan Jai Kisan and some foreign policies. Looking unto the domestic policies, Shastriji retained many members of Nehru's Council of Ministers as the final, and then he T.T. Krishna Machari was retained as the Finance Minister of India, as was Defense Minister Yashwantrao Chauhan. He appointed Swaran Singh to succeed him as External Affairs Minister. He also appointed Indira Gandhi, daughter of Jawaharlal Nehru and former Congress President, as the Minister of Information and Broadcasting. Gulzarilal Nanda continued as the Minister of Home Affairs. Lal Bahadur Shastri's tenure witnessed the Madras anti-Hindu agitation of 1965. The government of India had for a long time made an effort to establish Hindi as the sole national language of India. This was resisted by the non-Hindi speaking states, particularly Madras state. To calm the situation, Shastri ji gave assurances that English would continue to be used as official language as long as the non-Hindi speaking states wanted. The riots subsided after Shastriji's assurance, as did the student agitation. Looking into the economic policies, Shastriji continued Nehruji's socialist economic policies with central planning. He promoted the White Revolution, which was a national campaign to increase the production and supply of milk by supporting the Amul Milk Cooperative of Anand, Gujarat, and creating the National Dairy Development Board. He visited Anand on 31st October 1964 for inauguration of the cattle feed factory of Amul at Kanjari. As he was keenly interested in knowing the success of this cooperative, he stayed overnight with farmers in a village and even had dinner with farmers' family. He discussed his wish with Varghese Kurain, then the general manager of Kaira District Cooperative Milk Producers Union Limited, to replicate this model to other parts of the country for improving the socio-economic conditions of farmers. As a result of this visit, the National Dairy Development Board, that is the NDDB, was established at Anand in 1965. While speaking on the chronic food shortages across the country, Shastriji urged people to voluntarily give up one meal so that the food saved could be distributed to the affected populace. However, he ensured that he first implemented the system in his own family before appealing to the country. He went on air to appeal to his countrymen to skip a meal a week. The response to this appeal was overwhelming. Even restaurants and eateries downed the shutters on Monday evenings. Many parts of the country observed the Shastri Vrat. He motivated the country to maximize the cultivation of food grains by plowing the lawn himself at his official residence in New Delhi. During the 22nd Day War with Pakistan in 1965, on 19th October 1965, Shastriji gave the seminal Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, that is, in English, Hail the Soldier, Hail the Farmer, slogan at the Urva in Allahabad that became a national slogan. Underlying the need to boost India's food production, Shastriji also promoted Green Revolution in India in 1965. This led to an increase in food grain production, especially in Punjab, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh. Major milestones in this undertaking were the development of high-yielding varieties of wheat and rust-resistant strains of wheat. Though he was a socialist, Shastriji stated that India cannot have a regimented type of economy. His government passed the National Agriculture Products Board Act and was responsible for setting up the Food Corporation of India under the Food Corporation Act 1964, the Jai Jawan Jai Kisan Act. For the outstanding slogan given by him during the Indo-Pak War of 1965, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting of India commemorated Shastriji even after 47 years of his death on his 48th martyrs day. Former Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri ji was one of those great Indians who has left an indelible impression on our collective life. Sri Lal Bahadur Shastri ji's contribution to our public life were unique in that they were made in the closest proximity to the life of common man in India. Sri Lal Bahadur Shastri ji was looked upon by Indians as one of their own, one who shared their ideals, hopes, and aspirations. His achievements were looked upon not as the isolated achievements of an individual, but for our society collectively. Under his leadership, India faced and repulsed the Pakistani invasion of 1965. It was not only a matter of pride for the Indian army, but also for every citizen of the country. Sri Lal Bahadur Shastriji's slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, reverberates even today through the length and breadth of the country. Underlying this is the innermost sentiment, Jai Hind. The war of 1965 was fought and won for our self-respect and our national prestige. For using our defense forces with such admirable skills, the nation remains beholden to Sri Lal Bahadur Shastri ji. He will be remembered for all times to come for his large heartedness and public service. Talking about the foreign policies, Shastriji continued Nehruji's policies on non-alignment but also built close relations with the Soviet Union. In the aftermath of the Sino-Indian War of 1962 and the formation of military ties between China and Pakistan, Shastriji's government decided to expand the country's defense budget. In 1964, Shastriji signed an accord with Sri Lankan Prime Minister regarding the status of Indian Tamils in Sri Lanka, then called Ceylon. This agreement is also known as the Sirima Shastri Pact or the Bandaranaike Shastri Pact. Under the terms of this agreement, 6 lakh Indian Tamils were to be repatriated while 3,075,000 were to be granted Sri Lankan citizenship. This settlement was to be done by 31st October 1981. However, after Shastriji's death by 1981, India had taken only 3,000 Tamils as repatriates, while Sri Lanka had granted citizenship to only 1,85,000 citizens. Later, India declined to consider any further applications for citizenship, stating that 1964 agreement has lapsed. India's relationship with Burma had been strained after 1962 military, followed by the repatriation of many Indian families in 1964 by Burma. There, after such great fellowship, after such great leadership, after such great following, then began the war with Pakistan. Shastriji's greatest moment came when he led India in the 1965 Indo-Pak War, laying claim to half the Kutch Peninsula. The Pakistani army skirmished with Indian forces in August 1965. In his report to the Lok Sabha on the confrontation in Kutch, Shastriji stated, "In the utilization of our limited resources, we have always given primacy to plans and projects for economic development. It would therefore be obvious for anyone who prepared to look at things objectively that India can have no possible interest in provoking border incidences or in building up an atmosphere of strife. In these circumstances, the duty of government is quite clear, and this duty will be discharged fully and effectively. We would prefer to live in poverty for as long as necessary, but we shall not allow our freedom to be subverted. On 1st August 1965, major incursions of militants and Pakistani soldiers began, hoping not only to break down the government but incite a, a sympathetic revolt. The revolt did not happen, and India sent its forces across the ceasefire line. Now it is the line of control, and threatened Pakistan by crossing the international border near Lahore as war broke out on a general scale. Massive tank battles occurred in Punjab, and while the Pakistani forces made gains in the northern part of the subcontinent, Indian forces captured the key post at Hajipir in Kashmir and brought the Pakistani city of Lahore under artillery and mortar fire. The Indo-Pak War ended on 23rd September 1965 with, with a United Nations mandated ceasefire. In a broadcast of the nation on the day of ceasefire, Shastriji stated, while the conflict between the armed forces of the two countries has come to an end, the more important thing for the United Nations and all of those who stand for peace is to bring to an end the deeper conflict. How can this be brought about? In our view, the only answer lies in peaceful coexistence. India has stood up for the principle of coexistence and campaigned it all over the world. Peaceful coexistence is possible among nations, no matter how deep the differences between them, how far apart they are in their political and economic systems, no matter how intense the issues that divide them. During his tenure as Prime Minister, Shastriji visited many countries. Shastriji visited many countries. इससे चालू है ना? हेलो,
हॅलो.
हमारा आवाज येतोय ना?
हो, हो. येतोय. हॅव यू फिनिश्ड?
नाही मॅम, थोडंसं राहिलंय. आय थॉट माझा आवाज येत नाहीये.
नाही.
लास्ट पॉइंट राहिलाय फक्त. Shastriji died in Tashkent on the 11th January 1966, one day after signing a peace treaty to end the 1965 Indo-Pakistan War. Many among Shastri's supporters and close relatives refused at that time and have refused since to believe the circumstances of his death and foul play. Conspiracy theories appeared within hours of his death and have thereafter persisted. He was as a national hero and the Vijay Ghat Memorial established in his memory. Upon his death, Gulzarilal Nanda once again assumed the role of acting prime minister until the Congress parliamentary party elected Indira Gandhi over Morarji Desai to officially succeed Shastriji. After Shastriji's death, his wife Lalita Shastri had alleged he was poisoned. An epic poetry book in Hindi titled Lalita Ke Asu, written by Krant M.L. Verma, was published in 1978. In this book, the tragic story about the death of Shastriji had been narrated by his wife Lalita Shastri. The Indian government released no information about his death, and the media then was kept silent. The possible existence of the conspiracy was covered in India by the Outlook magazine. In such way, there was end of a great leader who had led India to the Green Revolution and the White Revolution too. After his death in 1966, Shastriji was awarded with the Bharat Ratna Award. Till now, we are continuing the slogan Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan for the betterment of our farmers, for the betterment of everyone. Really, he was a great leader. One line inspires me about Shastriji, which tells true democracy or the Swaraj of the masses can never come through untruthful and violent means. Truly, Shastriji was a humble person who followed the ethics and principles of Gandhiji. He will be remembered now and for many ages hereafter. Thank you, all of you, for listening to me so patiently. And thank you, ma'am, for this great program. Abide